Welcome back, everybody. Today we've got an unboxing from an item that OWC sent in. And this is something that I'm actually really excited to get my hands on, and a bit surprised they sent it out in the configuration they did. And what that is this OWC Accelsior 4M2. Now, if you remember way back, and it must have been 2017, the first non-SATA SSD we looked at was an OWC Accelsior drive, and that was the old E2 model. And that had two SandForce-based SATA SSDs with a Marvel RAID controller that allowed it to interface with a desktop. This is a bit different in that this is a quad M.2 NVMe device. So this is targeted for pro video editors, anyone doing any large data research type stuff, anyone who might have lots of data that they need to access quickly. Now, there is a larger version of this, the 8M2, that just launched last week. Those are a small fortune more, and we probably won't be getting our hands on one of those anytime soon. Needless to say, anything that I show the 4M2 here doing, that is capable of doing faster. It's got 8 drives. It's a PCIe Gen 4 device. I think that one they sell all the way up to a 64 terabyte configuration. This is a 2 terabyte model, which I believe should be 4 500 gig SSDs if this is populated correctly. And it's only a PCIe Gen 3 by 8. So quick look around on the front, over 6,000 megs a second. We're going to benchmark it. M2 NVMe, massive capacity, soft RAID included. Don't know how much we're going to play with the soft RAID stuff. We're going to try it, but I'm leaning towards just using Windows built-in RAID functionality. Some marketing stuff on the side, the freedom of real-time creativity. On the back, a couple of our target markets: pro video editing, AR, VR, MR design. So people with lots of assets while they're working on games are going to want something similar to this. Game on, explore immersive, stutter-free gameplay. Performance drive, 2019 Mac Pro, 2012, 2010 Mac Pro, PC towers, half-length 8x16x, and it does support being used in their Helios 3S Thunderbolt chassis. Which is cool. I should ask them about that next time I talk with OWC, because that would be a really nifty thing to try with our P50 at some point. Anyway, so on the side here, in some fine print, we get system requirements and the device information. PCIe 3.1 by 8. I think that's just the latest version of the PCIe 3 spec. macOS 10.13.6, Windows 10 or later, Linux kernel version 4 or later, any Mac or PC with a 3.0 lane, 8 lanes or more are recommended. And the reason those say that they're recommended is functionally, I could throw this in a 4X or a 1X slot and it'll work. It's not going to be ideal. I could also put it in a 2.0 slot or a 1.1 slot and it's going to work. It's not going to be ideal. The one thing I will say is that, where's the warranty information? 5-year warranty. There's going to be differing warranties based on how you order this. Originally, I was under the impression we were going to get the 0 terabyte model, which is just the card. And in that case, the drives would be under the warranty of the drive vendor, not necessarily OWC. Looks like it comes with a 1-year subscription to Arconis. I should really just give those away because I never use them. I prefer Macrium. Quick start guide. No drivers required. The M2 drives may require one, which is weird. Some of the information on soft RAID, Intel Base Max, Windows 10 PCs, supports any of this stuff. License information. Serial number shipped with your product can be used for Mac or PC, but only on one computer at a time. I don't see a serial number for soft RAID, so I'll have to see how that all works. And then we get inside some foam, nothing else behind it, the card itself. And this thing is a work of very heavy art. So here's the 4M2. They've got a nice blue PCIe bracket. And this is just a standard metal bracket. Feels like they've powder coated it. Couple of mount points here. Wouldn't be too hard to change this out for one that was regular steel or black, depending on your aesthetic. But the blue is definitely a nice touch from OWC. And then I count 1, 2, 3, 4 hex screws, which is a bummer that they used hexes, since I want to look at what's inside. And if this had been a driveless model, presumably it would have come with the hex driver. Which that is a nice feature, that they included an additional screw into the faceplate. So there's a big thermal pad, and I can see it made contact with the controllers and the memory modules here. There's another thermal pad here that stayed on the board, and that hides a surprise, actually. That is an AS Media ASM 2824 PCI bridge. Now, normally I generically call PCI bridges PLX chips because they were kind of one of the first ones, and they used to be the best at it. So it's a bit of a shock to see a non-PLX PCIe bridge. Now, I understand PLX chips are expensive, so I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And these AS Media chips, it looks like a good device. OWC is not someone I would expect to, like, cheap out on the PCIe bridge to save a penny. So if they're putting it in here and they're giving me a 5-year warranty, I have no reason to suspect that the AS Media bridge is anything less than sufficient for this. There are a couple of oddities that I see here. And let's get to those one at a time. So the first one is I can see the contact area that this has on the metal housing. And what jumps out at me is the actual connected interface is about a third of the width of that chip. Now, depending on how much cooling it needs, it's not a big deal. But I'm surprised to see that they did not adjust their material to include a single larger interface point for that. And this is not, I know it looks like it, especially from this profile. This looks just like an extruded piece of aluminum. It's not. The texture is not right, and you would not take extruded aluminum and then cut into it like this for where they have widened this to interface with the SSDs. This is cast, so it wouldn't have been a big deal to change that part of the casting. That said, I'm going to jam a thermal probe into it when we actually bench it and see what it does. It could be a non-issue. The other thing I'm noticing is that this pad could probably have been just a hair thicker, or this metal could have been just a bit thinner. I can see contact points for each of the drives, but those are not as well defined as I would have liked to see, which means that I'm not getting a ton of compression on this. It's not to say that I'm not getting none, I'm just not getting as much as I would have liked to see with this many M2 drives right next to each other. And they did configure this as 480 gig drives. These are Aura P12s. They're P12 Pros. And these are all Phison PS5012-E12S-32 controllers using Kingston DRAM. And I'm going to just... Are there any chips on the back sides? No, so we're going to have to peel one up just a smidge to see what type of DRAM they're using, or not DRAM, what type of NAND they're using. And I know it says warranty void if removed. Wait, what? Oh. Those are very tightly packed NAND modules. They are so tightly packed that for a second it looked like they were all a single package. And I apologize, this is not going to come through well on camera. TA7AG65AWV A2116N appears to be our package, and if I look that up really quick... Alright, after a little bit of digging, and I'll put something in text if I get more information, these appear to be Toshiba TLC. Or sorry, Kiexia TLC. Which was a pretty common choice with that particular controller. So, I've ripped it apart, I've seen what's in here, and where do we go from here? Well, there's a couple of things we do. I'm going to benchmark one of these drives on its own. And I'm going to benchmark the full array of drives in the controller. And I'm going to do that probably 3 different ways. We're not going to run all of our tests the same way, but we're going to run a couple of tests multiple ways. We're going to test just using Microsoft's built-in RAID, which is storage spaces, and we're going to test it as storage spaces and just the old school Windows Administrative Tools software RAID. And we're going to do that as a RAID 0 and as a parity array. We're going to benchmark it using OWC's soft RAID. And once again, we're going to do that. I assume soft RAID gives me a couple of different configuration methods. One should be just a parity, one should just be a straight RAID 0, which is just data striped across all 4 drives. And then I should have some form of parity option, something the equivalent of a RAID 5 or a RAID 6. And the reason we're going to do that is I want to see if their soft RAID's any better than what's built into Windows. And I also want to see which one of those just performs best. And this is a great way to do it. And the reason we're going to benchmark one of these on its own, and that'll be its own dedicated video for the P12 Pro being benchmarked, is I want to know what kind of performance scaling I can expect. Now, something like a simple RAID 0 should be near linear scaling. Something like a RAID 5, well, there's more CPU overhead in calculating the parity bits across the drives, so although I have the capacity of 3 drives, I may only see the performance equivalent to 2 of the drives. But in a RAID 5, my data is protected if one of these blows up, which is good and what you typically want. And then we'll do a little bit of value analysis at the end. And the reason I say we're going to do some value analysis is this is a good way to buy it if you're using an Apple workstation or something where you need 5 years of support and you just want to buy it and be done. However, this card is also available in a driveless configuration. and especially when you look at the higher capacity models. I think this goes up to 4 times 8, might be 4 times 4, so either 16 or 32 terabytes. It may be more cost effective to buy, say, 4 Sabrent Rocket 8 terabyte drives and put them on here than 4 of whatever OWC is going to include, which should just be P12 Pros scaled up. However, there's a cost to that, and the cost to that is going to be in a change in support. Now, I have 2 vendors to worry about instead of 1. Depending on who you are, really dictates whether or not that's a valid trade-off. For me personally, anywhere I can save a few bucks is generally good. For me at work, same person, anytime I can eliminate how many people I would have to talk to if something goes wrong is worth a fair bit of money. Anyway, so we're going to do all that. We're going to benchmark this and then maybe try and put some bigger drives in it. I don't think I have anything where I have 4 of the same size drive. I will see. All right, anyway, I want to thank OWC for sending this out. This is a fantastic piece of technology that I have wanted to feature on Pocketables for a while, and I'm glad to finally have one of these in hand to demo some of this stuff. As always, I want to thank anyone who helps support Pocketables, either by using our Amazon affiliate links or supporting us on Patreon. It's support like that that helps make videos like this possible. And finally, I want to thank Electrix for providing our opening and closing themes. As always, thank you for watching.